Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts and Ting and Ting and Ting. And we are in Romania. And I know, some people are going to go, Mr. Giant, why are you reacting to a swimmer? Well, I react to the music, I react to the culture, I react to all these other things. Why not react to prominent figures in sports and everything else of the countries that I want to learn about. I want to learn everything. You understand what I mean? And this time we're going to learn about a swimmer from Romania, uh, who is taking the world by storm. David Popovici, Popovici, uh, Popovici, I think. I hope I pronounced it right. Please, my Romanian people, correct me in the thing. And apparently he's blazing it up. You know what I mean? I like swimming sports. I watch it in the Olympics a lot. You know what I mean? From the 70s all the way up to Phelps. I haven't paid much attention lately. There haven't been like big things, but this guy looked like he's doing big things. He was 17 years old when he started vibing up. So I'm going to check this out, see what this young man's about, and check the vibe out, see what he's doing there and thing. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's check him out here.
That just feel even more impossible than other ones. For a long time, male swimmers were trying to break the 47-second barrier in the 100-meter freestyle. This was finally done in 2009 during the supersuit era, where Cesar Cielo, the Brazilian legend, clocked a 46.91. But for the next 13 years that followed, only one other sub-47 swim was done, and this was when Caleb Dressel went 46.96 in 2019. It was beginning to feel like the 100-meter freestyle, as an event, had completely plateaued, and nobody could break the magical world record because it was done in a supersuit. That was until a young 17-year-old Romanian named David Popovici would do the unthinkable at the European Champs in 2022. In the very same pool as Cielo, Popovici finally broke the 100 freestyle world record with a legal tech suit, swimming a 46.86. What surprised everyone was the way in which he broke it. Unlike Cielo, who swam with pure power and brute force due to his large and bulky frame, Popovici is very lean and nowhere near as heavy as the typical freestyle sprinter. What makes him so fast is his perfect technique and efficiency through the water, which you can learn about more by clicking the card in the top right. He also had very different splits compared to Cielo. Popovici didn't have the same front-end speed, and although his first 50 was far slower, he managed to come home almost 0.6 seconds quicker than Cielo on the second 50. Popovic's world record acted as a catalyst for the rest of the swimming world, and finally showed people that the 100 freestyle event was still getting quicker. But nobody expected how quickly this world record was going to keep falling from this point onwards. The 46.86 mark only stood for 1.5 years, before Chinese phenom Pan Zhanle lowered it down to a 46.80 at the Doha 2024 World Championships. People were surprised that Popovic's mark had fallen so soon, even though Pan had broken 47 seconds a few times before. And Pan wasn't done there. At the Paris Olympics just 5 months later, Pan destroyed his previous PB and set a huge new world record of 46.40, winning the Olympic final by over a second. It was the biggest margin of victory in the 100 free since 1908. Pan raised a ton of controversy over this world record for two reasons. Firstly, there had been a Chinese swimming doping scandal right before these Olympics, and although Pan wasn't on the list of the accused, many swimming fans are still suspicious of him because of both the huge margin of victory and the recency of the accusations. Secondly, people think Pan's record can't be legit because the Olympic pool was undeniably very slow. The rest of the 100 freestyle field in that race swam way slower than their PBs except Pan. Nobody would touch the current world record for another whole year, but at the Singapore 2025 World Champs, Popovici was back on top of the podium, swimming a 46.51 to lower his European record and post the second fastest time ever behind Pan. Because of the sudden, rapid progression of the 100 freestyle event, the question now is, who is going to be the first swimmer to break the 46-second barrier? This event is starting to become the spotlight for the fastest men in the water, but I think Popovici is going to get there first. In 2025 alone, he's managed to drop another 0.35 seconds off his best time. He's only 19 years old as well, which means that not only does he have plenty of time in his career to break 46, but he also has a lot more room for improvement even now. Let's talk about what needs to happen for Popovici to break 46. Just a month before winning the World Champs, Popovici gave us a little teaser at the European Under-23s by going a 46.71, breaking his own European record. What's wild is how he did it. He became the first man ever to split under 24 seconds on the second 50 of the 100 free, by going a 23.98 on the second 50. That's not just fast, that's changing the way we think about how this race can be swum. Technically, Popovici is negative splitting this race. His actual swim speed in the second 50 is quicker than the first,
Yeah.
but because of the dive, his first 50 will always have a quicker time. Popovici's closing speed is way better than anyone else right now. While his rivals burn out, like Jack Alexi did at the Worlds, he's still accelerating and his stroke rate is still increasing even towards the end. Popovici's weakness is his start. He takes roughly 5.4 seconds to get to the 15-metre mark. Although this is still fast, other swimmers have been sub 5 seconds before, and so if Popovici can knock off 0.4 seconds just off the dive and breakout, he will already be down to a 46.1,
So that's his vibe right
and from there, it's just a matter of making other marginal gains, like further improving his second 50 and improving his underwaters off the turn. But he's not alone in the race to break 46. Don't count out Jack Alexi, who just surpassed Dressel's American record with a 46.81, and in the anchor leg of a relay, he went a 45.95. Even though Pan was disappointing in Singapore and didn't even make the final, he's still the world record holder, so we know what he's capable of, and he's innocent until proven guilty. Don't forget the veterans like Kyle Chalmers either. Although he's never been sub 47, he's still one of the most consistent 100 freestylers in the world, but he'll need to really step up his game if he wants to keep up with the next generation. So will Popovici be the first person to break 46 in the 100-metre freestyle? I think so, but don't be surprised if it takes another few years, because these performances take a very long time to happen. But if he can combine his sub 24-second back half with a low 22-second first 50 metres, the stars could align for Popovici to do something ridiculous. Who do you think will break 46 seconds first, and when do you think it will happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to start watching swimming again. The last few years I've kind of like backed off on it some, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna have to find ways to watch him swim. Did he call him Popovici? Okay, but yeah. I'm gonna have to find ways to, you know what I mean? I know people like, why are you interested in swimming? Are you really interested in swimming? Yeah, I'm from an island. We learn to swim before we learn to walk. On the island, though, we have a swim team now, and we're doing pretty good in like regional competitions and stuff like that. So we starting to grow a little bit in the swimming competition and stuff like that. On the island, the type of races we had mainly was endurance type races. Like they had a race, they used to have a race every year where you swim from Grandans Beach to the city. Don't know how long that was, but boy, I never did it. Man, I never did it. I could tell you that straight up. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a strong swimmer, but no, not to mention, you had to swim by an area where a ship had sank, and there's a big, scary-looking monument right there where the ship sank. What was the name of that ship? God, I used to know that right off the bat. Because where I used to live on the island, I'd look out and I'd see that place right there with that. Man, I haven't thought about that monument in a long time. I wonder if it's still there. I've never seen anything about it there, on there. I think it was a kind of a statue type thing, if I remember. Of course, I used to see it all the time, like I said, when I was living in the city, because it's right around the natural harbor, just outside of it. But I didn't think much of it after I left there. So maybe that's why I can't remember the name of the ship that sank there. Some people perished and stuff there too, but yeah, they would have these races, and you'd come and you swim from Grandans to there and stuff like that. And of course, too, we didn't have pools big enough to do swimming back then. They may have now, but they still like mark it out, the lanes out in the ocean, and they would, swim there, have swimming races there and thing. And like, it was the same thing they did with water polo. They mark it out in the ocean and thing like that. So no facilities and thing back then. We just made do with what we have. But yeah, I was into swimming and stuff like that. I remember I felt, because he's latest, but I could still see watching it in the Olympics way back when, you know what I mean? And I don't know how Romania used to do back then, but now they have somebody. You know what I'm saying? So he's all lean and skinny and fast. Now, as far as I could tell, they said if he take off time off his start, because it seems like his the second leg is faster than the first leg. If he could get that speed up on the first leg there, he gonna break that. He gonna break that. He gonna smash that because he's quick. And what quite possibly could happen is that in the first leg, if he get that faster, it might hamper his endurance for the second leg, and he wouldn't have that burst. So something is gonna like switch there. But this was quite interesting, but Romanian doing this thing. Like he kind of reminds me of Nadia Comaneci, who just blasted out on this on the gymnastics scene from Romania and did that perfect 10 in 1976, first one ever. That's what this reminds me of. Only he's doing it in swimming. Every once in a while, for your country, somebody come out and just went boom and take. Like we had Karani James, who won the gold medal in the Olympics, like what 2 or 3 Olympics ago. Just came out of nowhere and just blazed everybody out. You understand what I'm saying? They were like, wait, where did he come from? Same type of vibe. And this is the reason why I like paying attention to things like this from the Balkans or that region there. Because, you know, people come out of nowhere and just go. To the rest of the world, they come out of nowhere. But when you look at the history of the sport in those countries, you could see that they've been building and they've been building. So they didn't come out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere for us who live so far away that we don't see the day-to-day vibe that's going on. You know, it's like same thing with the basketball over there. It's like, oh, where did they come from? And then when I look at the history, they've been doing this for years and years, decades. You know what I mean? Nobody's been paying attention because everybody think basketball is number one here, and there's nobody else that could compare. And then boom, you have Nikola, and you have Luca, and you have all these people coming out of there. You know, and it's a slow progression because you had Divac and them back in the day, you know, coming up and stuff like that. So yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe now some people wouldn't know. My man is on the scene and he's about to smash it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Drop a like on the video, comment down below, tell me what the vibe is. You understand what I'm gonna say? Hope you guys have a good day. Let's try to bring some peace and love to this world, okay?